50 years at the same TV station, Mr. David Louis.
Well, good evening, everyone. I have never seen so many smiling faces here tonight. Obviously, you've had a great 2 days of your conference. You've been doing all kinds of networking. We've all been exchanging good information. Lots of business cards, both electronic and physical, have been exchanging hands. And now you're here this evening to honor some very special people. And I know it's going to be a great evening for all of you. So thank you for being here. I know you're going to make more friends here tonight. All the people you haven't had a chance to meet over the past couple of days, it's really going to be great. I've had the privilege of covering Silicon Valley and, of course, West Coast business for decades. And so some of the key sponsors who have been part of this conference are companies that I know very well and have been covering for many, many years. And I know their commitment to diversity is as strong as yours is. So we're so glad to see all of you here tonight. Well, on behalf of the National ACE Board, we hope you've had this opportunity to network and to make lots of new friends and meet all these great people. So let's get things started here this evening. You've done a great job of getting seated and finding your places, and we'll start our dinner service in a short while. But at this time, we would like to invite Mr. Daniel Tuatha to sing the national anthem. Now, a little bit about Daniel. He holds a BA and a master's degree from UC Santa Barbara and a doctorate of musical arts in vocal performance from the University of Utah. Now, in addition to performing in local productions and as a chorus member with the Utah Opera, Daniel is an entrepreneur and is also a resource liaison with the Pacific Island Chamber of Commerce in Salt Lake City. So, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, thank you so much, Daniel. And with a voice like his, it certainly makes my voice pale by comparison, but I'm so glad to be here this evening, and thank you for joining us again. It is now my pleasure to introduce Ambassador Katherine Chieh. Ambassador Chieh is the 19th U.S. Trade Representative and is a member of the President's Cabinet. She is the Principal Trade Advisor, Negotiator, and Spokesperson on U.S. trade policy. Please welcome Ambassador Katherine Chieh.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to your AAPI Strong Conference Awards dinner. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you tonight and congratulate you on a successful conference. National ACE plays a critical role in the AA-NHPI community. By supporting our businesses and business owners, and by fostering the next generation of entrepreneurs and executives, many of whom will be recognized tonight, you are planting seeds that will bloom for years to come. I am especially grateful for your CEO and President, Yu-Ling. Her dedication and fierce leadership have helped move us forward. As we all know, the past 2 years have had a significant impact on AA&HPI workers, entrepreneurs, and businesses. From barriers to access to capital, the need for technical assistance, and competing in an increasingly crowded marketplace, you know the struggles all too well. But thanks to your strength and resilience, our businesses and communities are making a comeback. According to a national ACE survey from earlier this year, we are seeing job growth and revenue increases. Business confidence is rising and trust in financial and government institutions is high. This is a testament to what we can accomplish when we come together to push and pull one another through tough times. But there is more to be done. Economic inequity continues to present serious challenges, and small business owners still face racism, harassment, vandalism, and threats. I stand with you against such hate, and I have been doing my part to fight for us in Washington. As a co-chair of the President's Advisory Commission on Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, I have the responsibility and privilege of being a voice for our communities in the President's Cabinet. Together with partners like you, the Commission is working hard to address pressing issues like combating anti-Asian hate and advancing economic equity. In my role as the U.S. Trade Representative, I know that this work requires us to better understand the effects of our trade policies, including by addressing the systemic lack of disaggregated data on AA&HPI communities. And that is why I requested the International Trade Commission to investigate the impact of trade policy on underserved communities. And the findings from that report will help us make smarter policy decisions going forward. Too often, the benefits of trade have not reached minority-owned businesses and their communities. But I am committed to making trade a force for good by ensuring that the benefits of trade are more equitably and sustainably distributed. We are also making sure American businesses and workers can compete on a level playing field, and we are setting responsible environmental standards and fostering fair and healthy cooperation to lift up small businesses and working families. These values are embedded throughout our engagement around the world, from the Indo-Pacific to Latin America to Europe and beyond. And your dedication and perseverance inspire me to push forward with this important work. We are gathered here today under the theme of strength in diversity. Our diversity is the bedrock of this nation. Though we bring our own unique stories to the table, the patchwork of all of our stories points to something greater, the American promise that together we can build a brighter future for all. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I hope to see you all soon.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. And now we would like to have Yu-Ling come up and introduce our keynote speaker.
Good evening. This has been incredible 2 days. When we know there's about 600 AAPI small business owners registered for this conference, we were just so overwhelmed. Thank you so much to make this is the biggest AAPI small business owner gatherings in Washington, D.C. since COVID. Before I introduce our keynote speaker, I want to thank so many officials here. Among all of you, you have been helping us, you have encouraged us, but one of them I want to thank is Erica Morosugu, Deputy Assistant to the President. Erica, thank you so much, we love you. Thank you so much to help National ACE from the beginning. Erica, thank you so much. We want to thank you, all of you, to fly all the way from Utah, from Seattle, from Los Angeles, all over the place, just to make this conference a successful. Many people came to me during the conference to thank us, but we want to thank you, each small business owners here. You have faced so many challenges during the COVID, the pandemic, and also anti-AAPI hate. You have been through so many challenges, but you are willing to come here because we are here representing one voice in Washington, D.C. I also want to thank the board of directors, corporate partners, and also our chamber partners. I want to thank Wells Fargo, Grubhub, Coca-Cola, Toyota, EY, Meta, Google, McDonald's, UPS, BNY Mellon, Bank of America, PayPal, Comcast, Verizon, and more. Give them a round of applause. They believe in the mission of National ACE. Even today, many corporate partners came to me, want to do more work with National ACE. We were just so overwhelmed, so touched. I feel after these 2 days, after a whole year's work, I think we are part of a family. We have the same passion and we have the same commitment to support, to honor the small business owner to thrive and also to be resilient. Small business drives U.S. economy, and you, each one of you, keep the American dream alive. We also want to pass to our next generation. We have so many young entrepreneurs here. Next gen, please raise your hand, please stand up. Let everybody know we have the biggest next gen group within National ACE. Report to them, to Boston, to New York, to Los Angeles, San Francisco, Houston. They are there for you. And we're really looking forward to continue this beautiful partnerships with government officials, corporate partners, affiliate chambers and partners, and also next-gen young entrepreneurs. Speaking of small business, we are thrilled to have opportunity to listen to a lifelong proponent of small business. SBA Administrator Isabella Guzman serves as the 27th Administrator of the U.S. Small Business Administration. She represents more than 30 million U.S. small businesses. Actually, we share the same mission. Each one of us here share the same mission. From a very, very young age, working beside her father in his chain of veterinary hospitals in Southern California, she gained a deep appreciation for the small business owners. She is committed to helping small business owners and entrepreneurs start, grow, and be resilient. As a member of SBA's underserved communities, I have eyewitnessed Administrator Guzman's commitment to the minority business community. She is one of us. Please join me to welcome SBA Administrator Guzman.
All right, good evening. This is such an incredible group, such a large group. It's great to be here in person with you here in DC. You know, Yu-Ling, thank you so much for your leadership and your partnership. As she just mentioned, she is one of my critical members of my Council of Underserved Communities who are challenging and inspiring the SBA to continue to uplift all communities to ensure that entrepreneurship is a pathway. So thank you so much, Yu-Ling, for your consistent advocacy and partnership at the SBA. And welcome everyone to the 2022 National ACE Conference. I think that what I'm really excited about is the fact that it's been nearly a decade that the SBA, along with National ACE, have partnered to help ensure that entrepreneurship is an attainable dream, that the successful outcomes of all of our entrepreneurs can be achieved within the Asian American and Pacific Islander community. We're really proud of that long-standing partnership and have found it so incredibly critical to help support the Biden-Harris administration's vision. You know, the businesses that you serve really truly demonstrate the strength of our diversity. I know that's your theme, but the strength of our diversity in America. You know, the more than 2.5 million AAPI-owned businesses across the country are creating jobs, building wealth, providing the goods and the services that we become reliant on, as well as the ones that drive our economy forward. You've heard my background. Obviously, I've had a long time commitment to small business and entrepreneurship. I come from an entrepreneurial family, grew up working in my father's veterinary hospitals from a very young age, and was able to start my own businesses, work with multiple founders, and to see firsthand the challenges and the opportunities for entrepreneurs. And now I'm so honored to take that experience and now serve in the President's cabinet. I should add, one of the most diverse cabinets in history. That's right. The most diverse cabinet in history, I should say. To work for a president and a vice president who are so committed to equity, to ensure that we can truly build an economy that works for everyone. And that's what it's truly about, and that's what the SBA at its core is also about. We're about delivering that American dream of business ownership to more Americans, making sure that they can start, grow, and be resilient, but as well that they can help communities build wealth and build sustainability. My focus at the SBA is to meet businesses where they are, provide a customer-first and technology-forward and equitable approach to everything that we do at the SBA. And our offerings are expansive at the SBA. But as we stand in this great moment of opportunity, on the horizon, I know wholeheartedly that I can count on National ACE in partnership to make sure that we can meet businesses where they are, where we can share the great resources that exist at the SBA. And it's not just about the diverse partners that we deploy across the country with our lending networks and our resource centers and our great partners like National ACE, but it is also about recognizing internally that our diversity is our strength. So I know that you had an opportunity to meet with a few of my leaders over the last couple of days, and I just wanted to give a shout out to them because I think not only am I a melting pot representative of this country with a Mexican father who's a quarter Chinese and a Mexican mother who's a quarter German, I know how rich those experiences can be to inform trajectories of organizations. Diverse teams simply outperform. So I want to give a shout out to Jennifer Kim, who of course leads my field offices around the country and mobilizes our regional administrators. She was with you yesterday, hopefully riled you up at the reception, along with her entire regional administrator team. And then, of course, my Region 10 administrator based out of Seattle, Mike Huang, who was here earlier today, hopefully gave you some great information. And then finally, I know you had some time with Aditi Dussault, who is one of my senior advisors in the front office and an expert in making sure that small businesses can leverage the resources of the federal government from contracting to investments. And so excited that you had that opportunity because representation matters. It's important and it's valued by the president to make sure that we represent and reflect the communities that we serve. And as you know, and as we've all experienced, especially in my travels around the country, the AAPI community is highly entrepreneurial with great successes. And so making sure that we have the representation to deliver for you is critical. And during COVID, I saw small businesses around the country really pivot and adapt to survive during this time, oftentimes with the support of the SBA and the critical relief programs that we deployed, over $1.2 trillion in funding to save our small businesses, get them reopened. And thanks to the President's American Rescue Plan, we have been able to mobilize small businesses to help them survive and start to thrive again. That's right. And it's really been with their pure grit and determination, but with the historic economic recovery that we have seen and the job growth created as a result of of fighting the pandemic, we have also seen incredible rates of entrepreneurship. That's what's spurred job creation. We know that our small businesses create 2/3 of net new jobs. And in the administration's first 18 months alone, 7.8 million individuals decided to start their business and applied to open up their business. And that is a larger rate than any other similar period in history. So as we look to the future, to transitioning this economy from the historic recovery to a more stable and sustainable economy, the challenge at hand for SBA and all of the small businesses and entrepreneurs and the great partners that we work with like ACE is to ensure that we can continue to build back better, level the playing field, as the President says, and start to build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out. We have to face the challenges of the moment that our small businesses are facing together to ensure that they can continue to overcome. There is incredible opportunity on the horizon, and I just want to count out for you some of the achievements during the Biden-Harris administration so that you can have a recognition of the opportunities at hand for your communities that you represent. With signature legislative accomplishments, we are going to see revenue growth opportunities and innovation opportunities for our small businesses. With the Bipartisan Infrastructure and Investment Act, small businesses are rebuilding our infrastructure across the country, from broadband to roads and bridges and airports. Those contracts are happening today. And in fact, Secretary Buttigieg and I today announced an MOU together to ensure that the capital and the bonding would get to the small businesses so that they can leverage the more than $1 trillion that's available. So projects have launched across the country, and that's going to yield jobs and contracts for our entrepreneurs. We also, of course, saw the CHIPS and Science Act. That's about rebuilding American manufacturing. Over 75% of all manufacturers are 20 and under. They are small businesses. They're the backbone of the manufacturing sector. And as we look to rebuild our competitiveness, investing in American manufacturing and American innovation, our small businesses will be at the forefront, benefiting from those critical investments. Small businesses are also going to benefit from the Inflation Reduction Act. And as we see across the country with climate change and natural disasters, a clean energy transition has to happen. And I know that our small businesses will help lead the way. Those investments through the Inflation Reduction Act are going to power innovation in the clean energy space and help small business innovators ensure that they can be a part of that future industry, leveraging success to then globally impact around climate change. And it's not just for some of those innovators or businesses in that industry in particular. Small businesses will now become part of the solution as they take advantage of the tax credits and rebates to lower their energy costs, as well as taking advantage of the lowering of costs across the board that are designed to fight inflation, lowering healthcare costs, prescription drugs across the board, as well. That's right. So these are the opportunities, and they are historic, and it's important that we make sure all of our small business communities can be a part by having the critical success factors that are needed to take advantage of those contracts, of those innovation opportunities. And that's why the SBA and its programs are so critical. We work hard to build networks, to build lending programs, investment vehicles, to make sure that more small businesses can get to yes in the capital markets, can get to yes on that contract opportunity. The small businesses need to be contract ready. They need to be armed with funding from the SBA, whether that's through our small business investment companies, which we committed today with Secretary Buttigieg to focus on infrastructure, or through our core lending program. The SBA actually deploys over $50 billion in capital every single year. And this is an incredible pot of money that spurs entrepreneurship in this country. We are expanding our distribution network of lenders to better meet businesses where they are, diversifying those lenders, as well as simplifying the terms, eligibility, underwriting, collateral, to make sure that small businesses can access these programs, and incentivizing that early stage patient capital that we need to see across this country. But it's not just about the capital at the SBA. We are the ones who power the small business spend in the federal government. That's a $560 billion marketplace beyond the infrastructure spend or any other investments in the legislative achievements. Capital powers revenue growth. And as Yu-Ling knows, on our Council on Underserved Communities, access to contracts is what is the focus of so many communities right now, because we know that we have seen a steady decline in small businesses able to do business with the federal government. Our commitment is to try to reverse those trends and make sure that there's an opportunity for small businesses to easily get certified, to easily compete for contracts, that there are contract vehicles that you can actually participate in. And the president is highly committed to equity in procurement. From day one, he signed an executive order ensuring that there could be equity in procurement. He wanted to power the federal purse to direct spending in this country to ensure that the economy does in fact work for everyone. Last year we may have hit our goals and exceeded them and spent more than $154 billion with small businesses on prime contracts. That's right, another $72 billion in subcontracting. But we know, from talking to small businesses, it's not the easiest program to leverage. There are challenges, and that's what the SBA is about trying to do, break down those inequities. Our SBA has released disaggregated data and knows that AAPI community only receives about 3% of all federal contracts, while you represent over 8% of all of the spend, of all of the businesses. So we're working hard to make sure that we can deliver against the president's vision and ensure that small businesses can participate in contracting. And beyond that, the bottom line is that small businesses can rely on the SBA to help leverage opportunities. You heard from my cabinet colleague, Ambassador Tai, earlier. We want to make sure that small businesses can leverage their diaspora community connections to culture and language and participate in global trade. That's a $2.5 trillion marketplace for our small businesses, and we want to see them access 95% of the world's consumers who are abroad. So just know that, when firms in the United States outperform, it benefits us all. We want to see our diverse small businesses invested in. We want to see them grow and create jobs in communities, because when we can all survive and thrive together, that's when our global competitiveness will continue to increase. Know that, my challenge to all of you is to try to get to know the SBA, leverage as many programs that you can from the federal government, and ensure that you can build wealth for your communities and advance your businesses, creating the jobs that we rely on. So I look forward to my future partnership with National ACE and ensuring that we can jointly make sure that the president's vision of an economy that works for everyone is achieved. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Administrator Guzman. While we have already had our salad service, we would like to have a blessing of our meal this evening. And so we would like to have a very special presentation that has its roots in the Pacific Island community as well as the native communities. So we'd like to have that blessing at this time.
Half a day, everyone. Half a day, everyone. In Guam and in the Marianas, it's not a whole day, it's just a. That is a greeting from my people. So I want to thank you, National ACE, for inviting us out here. My name is Joey Kanga, and I come on behalf of the Pacific Islander Chamber of Commerce and Island City Media Group in Los Angeles. And the chant song that I'm going to do today is a blessing that we do. And essentially what it is asking our ancestors to watch as we travel Pacifica and Oceania. So I hope you enjoy. This is called Asaina. Gas mona ina na mami o saina o aniti na tata mona na mentri ina mugi fina gumunu mapaga he zehulo Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.
That was truly beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to begin our dinner service now, so please enjoy your meals. But before we begin our meals, I want to remind you that the silent auction is going on. So please be generous with your contributions tonight. Reach deep into your pockets and support National ACE. We've got fabulous items donated by various sponsors, AAPI businesses and communities. So you can definitely shop guilt-free. You've got the holidays coming up, so you might find something special that you could help to support National ACE. So just scan the QR code and start the bidding process, all right? So, and if you don't find anything you want to take home tonight, don't forget you can still make a contribution as well without bidding on an item. So we will be back shortly. Please enjoy your meals.
find your seats. The program will resume momentarily.
Asian American and Pacific Islanders are the fastest growing minority group in the United States. More than 20 million live in the U.S. and have become a powerful economic force. 2.5 million AAPI-owned small businesses generate over $800 billion in annual GDP. AAPI businesses employ over 5 million people with a collective buying power of over $1 trillion a year. When a pandemic collides with discrimination, our AAPI small businesses were impacted the hardest. From health to economics to livelihood, some businesses survived. But sadly, many mom and pop stores did not. According to National ACE's 2022 survey, almost half of AAPI business owners would not be able to fund an unplanned $5,000 business expense. Between March 2020 and March 2022, more than 11,500 incidents of anti-Asian hate were reported, 27% of which occurred at a place of business.
It is undeniable. We have witnessed a rising tide of racist hate against people of Asian descent in this country. And it's a tide that must be named, countered, and reversed.
Today, our AAPI small businesses are still struggling to recover from the pandemic. From supply chain disruptions to severe inflation, from labor shortages to ongoing discrimination, the fight continues. With the help of National ACE, Asian American entrepreneurs continue to take their fight to the streets, to the White House, and to the halls of Congress.
The AA and NHPI community has faced an uphill fight the last couple of years due to COVID and the blight of racism. But today, the resiliency of this community has never been clearer, and the work that you and so many others are undertaking could not be more critical.
The spirit of AAPI entrepreneurship and resilience continues to persevere.
Our administration will continue to fight to make sure that all members of the AA and NHPI community have the opportunity to succeed and to thrive.
While there's still much work to be done, National ACE continues to be a champion for small businesses by providing grant programs for AAPI entrepreneurs. Through corporate partnerships, National ACE has dispensed over $6.5 million in grant awards to AAPI small businesses in all 50 states and Washington, D.C.
For Dallas-Fort Worth to receive this fund, the women that we are training to be community cooks for Break Bread Break Borders have been tremendous. They have been able to utilize this and really further their culinary education and uplift their families, and it's a huge investment to the communities. Thank you, National ACE, for all that you do. We love you.
National ACE assisted over 60,000 businesses and entrepreneurs through hundreds of virtual trainings, webinars, and workshops to help them stay strong and resilient during the pandemic. National ACE also launched the AAPI Strong Small Business Roundtable Series, connecting small business owners with community advocates, corporate leaders, and government officials to address the needs of AAPI businesses across the country. Over 25,000 AAPI businesses have benefited from National ACE's programs on access to capital, business recovery and resiliency, and business and cultural sensitivity trainings. Alone, we can do so little. But together, we can do so much for the future success of our AAPI business communities.
And that is why National ACE's work is so important and urgent. By supporting our community's businesses and business owners, you are helping to address all of these systemic imbalances.
I would like to commend National ACE's great efforts, led by President and CEO Yu-Ling to work with over 100 AAPI affiliate chambers and partners to help AAPI small business owners.
And we are proud to be strong partners of National ACE. Thank you so much for showing up to learn so that we all belong, so all businesses thrive.
National ACE gives thanks to the generous organizations and individuals who stand by the AAPI community in building a more equitable future. We look forward to continuing this work with our valued partners and fellow advocates. Together, we are AAPI Strong.
Come on, let's hear the applause for National ACE. National ACE is making a tremendous difference across this country, and it's being recognized for its leadership, its dynamic vision, and we're so glad that all of you are here today to support National ACE. I know you've been enjoying wonderful conversations over dinner, but we hope you will please pay your attention now to the stage as we bring a couple of corporate sponsors up who have been extremely supportive and who are critical to the support of this organization. Please welcome this year's presenting sponsor of our National ACE Annual Conference, Krizzia, who is Senior Vice President and Chief Strategist for the Small Business Diverse Segments team at Wells Fargo.
Good evening, and thank you, David, for that wonderful introduction. So let me begin by first saying thank you to my friend Yu-Ling, to our entire staff, the board members and volunteers at National ACE for hosting this conference and bringing us together here tonight. Again, my name is Krizzia. I'm a Senior Vice President with Wells Fargo's Small Business team, and my job and my privilege and responsibility at the bank is to help diverse customers more easily access capital. I'm absolutely honored and humbled to be here tonight. You know, one of my favorite quotes is, "You are your ancestors' wildest dreams." And it's a saying that I have been constantly reminded of during my time here. Over the last 2 days, I've heard so many inspiring stories, and I just want to thank everyone for the wonderful reminder of why I do the work that I do. Small business is near and dear to my heart. I've spent the majority of my 16-year career working with small businesses, and as you well know, the last couple of years has been a challenge, and disproportionately so for diverse-owned businesses. So I would also be remiss if I didn't take a moment to recognize and applaud the business owners and entrepreneurs in the room tonight for your resilience and dedication to your customers, to your employees, and to the communities that you serve. The very fact that you are here in this room tonight is a testament to your tenacity and ingenuity. At Wells Fargo, small business is big business. Not only do small businesses sustain millions of jobs across the country, but locally, you all contribute to the vibrancy of our neighborhoods. For me, whether it's grabbing my morning coffee at the local bakery, attempting to get a workout in at the family-owned gym that I'm a member of, or getting my hair cut by the same Vietnamese barber that I've been going to for the last 15 years, I am just so thankful for the small businesses that keep my life moving. They make up my community, they keep it vibrant and prospering, and best of all, they're the familiar faces that I get to see on a regular basis. Wells Fargo is a fairly new partner to National ACE, but what I've observed thus far are the shared values that our two organizations hold. The passion and commitment that Yu-Ling and her team has for championing and solving for the needs of AAPI small businesses and the small business community is inspiring. I hope you all know what a truly amazing advocate you have in National ACE, and we're just really proud to be a small part of that work. At Wells Fargo, we want to do all that we can to be a meaningful part of the solution. As a Filipino American, I'm proud to work for a company that has such a long-standing history of supporting our communities, and a company that has diversity, equity, inclusion so deeply embedded into our DNA and our culture. You know, the pandemic taught us a lot at Wells Fargo, and let me just share a couple of ways that we've put those learnings into action. Like we heard from so many of the speakers today, we also quickly realized that those who needed the help most were being left out of the Paycheck Protection Program. And so we quickly mobilized and conducted proactive outreach to underserved communities. As a result, we served approximately 282,000 customers with PPP loans, totaling nearly $14 billion. Of those, 85% went to businesses with fewer than 10 employees, and 42% of the loans were made to businesses located in underserved communities, really bringing funding to the places where it mattered most. Many of the speakers today at the conference also talked about the numerous community resources available to small business owners, and I just want to echo that sentiment. But when I talk to small business owners, and I'm sure you all can relate, about those resources, they often tell me that they don't know where to begin looking. Because of that feedback, in January of this year, Wells Fargo launched our Small Business Resource Navigator. By answering a few questions, the portal connects small business owners with lending solutions provided by CDFIs, technical assistance, and grants available to them locally. So if you're looking for community resources and you don't know where to start, I encourage you to visit bizresourcenavigator.com, and that's biz, B-I-Z, resourcenavigator.com. So while we have quite a bit to celebrate, I also want to recognize that the collective work that is being done continues to take on additional significance and meaning against the backdrop of an increase in anti-Asian hate, xenophobia, and violence. So I want to share a personal story. Early in the pandemic, I was walking in my neighborhood in progressive and liberal San Francisco when a woman walking towards me jumped off the sidewalk to purposefully avoid walking past me. When I looked back at her with a confused glance, she simply yelled, "I don't want to catch your China virus." That was a very sobering experience for me, and I share it because it also made me realize how important it is for institutions like Wells Fargo to not remain silent. So I want you all to know that Wells Fargo, we stand with you. Partnerships like those with National ACE really reaffirm our core values. We'll continue to fight discrimination, combat hate in all its forms, and listen to our AAPI employees, customers, and community partners to find ways to end racism and injustice to create lasting change. So in closing, I just want to thank you again on behalf of my colleagues at Wells Fargo who are all here today. We look forward to the opportunity to connect, and to tonight's honorees, we congratulate you, and we're so honored to celebrate your achievements. So please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Team Wells Fargo, well represented here tonight. Obviously very proud of what you're doing for the community. Thank you so much, Chris. Please now welcome this year's premier sponsor of our National ACE Annual Conference, Irvin Johnson, Senior Manager for Public Affairs, Communications, and Sustainability for North America and Canada at Coca-Cola.
Good evening to you all. I'll be very brief, but it is a pleasure and absolute honor to be with you at the National ACE AAPI Strong Strength and Diversity Annual Conference. Before I go any further, just want to give a shout out to my colleagues at the Coca-Cola table and the company. This conference is so important because of the significant lessons we've learned and the relationships we built this week. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank all of our National ACE partners who helped make this conference a reality. Throughout our history, the Coca-Cola Company has stood up for and celebrated diversity, equity, and inclusion around the world. It's at the heart of our values and plays an important part in the company's overall success. Because when we lift the voices of those who are underrepresented and we help offer resources and training to grow small businesses, particularly minority-owned businesses, everybody wins. Coca-Cola's aspiration is not only to mirror the diversity of the communities where we operate, but also to lead and advocate for a better shared future. And that starts with supporting organizations and conferences like the one we are at today. So with that, I'd like to invite you to raise a toast and do a Coke toast if you have Coke to a great week, and congratulations to ACE. And also, let's help celebrate the ultimate goal of creating opportunities and inclusion in our workplace and communities. Thank you for all that you have done and continue to do. Have a good night.
We're now going to be going into some of the awards for our honorees tonight, so I know you're going to want to listen very carefully. I know that the buzz in the room is starting to get a little louder, but we really want to honor these individuals, and we want to show them their respect and our appreciation for what they are doing in our community. So please do try to keep the chatter down a little bit. Chieh Tong, we're going to have you come back up and start us off.
Good evening again. I'm going to present the first award, the Corporate Champion Award. I want to thank Wells Fargo, Coca-Cola, but also others, Grubhub, Toyota, EY, as I mentioned. Can we have all the corporate partners? Would you please stand up? We want to give you a round of applause. All the corporate sponsors, Toyota, EY, Meta, Google, McDonald's, UPS, Cavanos, Verizon, Bank of America. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So we select one special individual to represent all the corporation to present our Corporate Champion Award. We want to recognize this individual with exceptional commitment to making positive change in the AAPI community. It was very, very hard during the COVID, especially for AAPI business community. At that time, many companies came to us. Many of them are here with us. Verizon was one of the very first companies to commit supporting social and racial justice for the AAPI community. Please allow me to quote from the touching statement of a Verizon CEO, Hans Vestberg. We need to take a real action to root out hate and discrimination. An attack on one group is an attack on everyone. And we must unite against racism once and for all. As Verizon pushed for progress, Verizon was, at that time, they immediately commit tremendous funding to accelerate social justice across AAPI community. This is all because Emilio Gonzalez. Emilio, thank you for caring for the AAPI business community. Thank you for being a champion for AAPIs and entrepreneurs. Your contribution is vital as we continue our work. You make it possible for us to continue making strides towards our goal of advancing our future generation. Emilio, thank you for being our friend. Thank you for being my hero. Thank you for being the Corporate Champion Award recipient.
Good evening, everyone. I was thinking about what to say tonight, and I kept thinking about Socrates. You see, he was a great man, but he talked too much, so they killed him. So I'll be brief here, but I want to say thank you to Yu-Ling, to the ACE staff, and to the board of ACE for all they do. It was roughly 10 years ago that one of the first ACE organizational meetings took place at our offices in DC. And for that, I want to thank a former colleague of mine, Mark Keem, who's now with the Biden administration, because Mark introduced us to this great group. And I remember walking out of that meeting thinking, what focus these individuals had and what commitment. And it was only towards one thing: ensuring that you, the AAPI business community, have a strong, persistent voice in Washington and in state capitals. And I did not imagine a room like this 10 years ago, and I can only imagine what will happen 10 years from now. You know, good things happen when caring people get together. And like many of you, all of you, I was angry, I was upset when I watched what happened with some of the AAPI hate incidents. These were women, these were children, these were innocent people. But a colleague of mine at Verizon, Albert Shen, who is here, we got together and put our heads together, and we urged the company to do something meaningful to help the nonprofit, the grassroots, ACE. The business community, too, felt the pain of what was happening. It was just not ordinary people. It was business owners. And we got together and came out with about $15 million worth of support for organizations to do training and support so that hopefully we don't have to talk about this next time we gather. I also want to let you know we do about $5 billion a year with women and minority-owned businesses. And I think we can do better, but I'm delighted that one of those folks is here tonight, and that's Mr. Elliott Park, the owner of Shine Electronics. And I want to highlight what he does because during COVID, it became very special to us as a company and to our supply chain. We do about $100 million a year with his company. And as you know, when the economy shut down, it was hard to get products moving and to serve customers. This man gathered his family, his mom, his cousins, whoever necessary to continue to keep his operations running. And that's the kind of resiliency, innovation, and determination that the AAPI business community brings forward every day. So I want to thank ACE again for what you do every day. I want to thank all of you for coming out and supporting them. It's a wonderful organization, and thank you for listening. Good night.
We are now going to turn to the Executive of the Year Award. And so to do those honors, Susan Jin Davis.
How you doing? Note to self, lower podium. Lower podium. There are others, diversity, equity, and inclusion. This next award recognizes the collaboration of National ACE Affiliate Strategic Partner who has made a significant contribution to improve the resources of underserved business owners and entrepreneurs. The Community Advocate Award celebrates and recognizes a business representative, community leader, or civil servant who advocates for connection and inclusion. I first met Susi, Feltch, Malohifo'ou at an ACE board meeting, and we bonded over hair. Susi recognized the power of image and presence. We in the AA-NHPI community have much to learn from Susi because she speaks truth to power. She has pride in who she is. She honors our ancestors, and she never, ever, ever gives up. Some of us know that Susi just survived a completely terrifying illness. Many people in this room were praying for Susi, crying for Susi, hoping for Susi, and with the love of her family, Simi, Adrian, and others, she made it through. And as Adrian wrote to us, she's a fighter. So we are especially happy to have Susi here tonight. So let's give her another round of applause. It's no secret that the Pacific Islander community is left out of the dialogue in our community. The PI community is rarely at the table, but because of Susi, the community has a voice. Indeed, the Pacific Islander community is a better place because of Susi's fierce advocacy. And I mean fierce. Have you ever been in a meeting with this woman? Let us learn from Susi's teachings. We belong here. We are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we are powerful beyond measure. It is my honor to present the Community Advocacy Award to the CEO and Executive Director of Pacific Island Knowledge to Action Resources and my dear friend, Susi.
Thank you so much. As Susan said, many may know that I recently had a fluke medical incident, and I wanted to thank the many people that are in this room that I know from National ACE that sent flowers, money, and most importantly, your prayers and well wishes, phone calls and emails checking in on me. This is the first public event I've attended since getting out of the hospital 6 weeks ago. Attending this conference was very important to me because showing up counts. And National ACE continually shows up, not just for Pacific Islanders and Asian American business owners, but personally for me. National ACE is an example of true allyship and partnership. I thank you for this honor. I am Tongan, a Pacific Island woman who was born in Tonga. I'm the daughter and granddaughter of warriors. We are the greatest navigators that have ever lived, and I'm a proud immigrant, and I love my community. My community is deserving of the best that America has to offer, like every other person that lives in America. Part of my Pacific Island DNA is I'm the daughter and granddaughter of warriors that are brave, especially for my community, whose core values are God, family, community, and church. I am so grateful to see so many Pacific Islanders in this room tonight, and I welcome you, and I look forward to building communities with you. On our ancestors' shoulders we stand. They are the greatest ocean navigators. Now it's our job to be system navigators, This was their hope and dreams and why they sacrificed so much for us, their posterity to have and to thrive in this country. Thank you very much for this honor, and I acknowledge that without National ACE, allyship, excuse me, here I'm having a hard time breathing, to provide mentorship, education, and resources, the support of the Pacific Island Chamber of Commerce, we would not have the resources to assist our business owners. I'm grateful to Bill Amata for inviting me to that first partnership meeting 5 or 6 years ago, to Yu-Ling Tong, Daniel Oliver, Karen Ng, Susan Jen Davis, George Mui, Floyd Morey, Sue-Ann Hong, Jimmy Ferguson, just to name a few, for allowing me the space to continue to say, do not go get Pacific Island funding if you're not gonna help us. Our business owners, my community needs help, and the help that you're getting, please help us with the funding you're getting. That's what advocacy is. I may be called annoying, that's okay too. I'm gonna keep asking the hard questions and hold Asian American organizations accountable for the use of Pacific Island funding. So I thank National ACE's board and staff for allowing this space for me to advocate for Pacific Islanders and for listening. PICTAR is an ecosystem of culturally relevant resources, and one of our programs is the Chamber. If basic needs like food, shelter, health, culturally relevant understanding are not part of the solution, lifelong change and prosperity are hindered. The solution is in holistic care of humans. One size fits all? No, it doesn't. We need options. I could go on here. I want to acknowledge and accept this honor on behalf of the leadership of the Pacific Island Chamber of Commerce that are all here tonight. We are a team of servant leaders that bring social conscious to economic development, increasing bottom lines with an ROI of empowered people and thriving communities, strengthened by our positive cultural norms and practices. Thank you again to National ACE, your board of directors, for this honor, and I look forward to many more years of learning from each other. Malohifo'ou.
Susie, thank you so much. Very inspiring words, and we can see why you're deserving of the Community Support Award. Our next award is for Distinguished Service, and to do those honors, we invite Dr. Karen Ng.
Yu-Ling, do you see all the people that are here for us tonight? Congratulations on an amazing, amazing conference. Congratulations to our board of directors, our staff, our ambassadors, and our Next Gen group. Look at this room. I just am so amazed, and I'm going to tell you, every single person that won an award tonight is family, right? Every person, you can tell when we introduce them, family. So if you want to get more involved, please, please, please become part of our ACE family. All right? The Distinguished Service Award honors an individual who has strengthened the role of public service through their leadership, practices, and achievements, and of course, for their service to the community. Congresswoman Judy Chieh embodies all of these qualities. Congresswoman Chieh was elected to Congress in 2009. For the past 13 years, she has represented her district in Southern California with both grace and passion. Love grace and passion. In 2011, she was elected chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, CAPAC, a position she still holds today. As chair of CAPAC, Congresswoman Chieh advocates for the needs and concerns of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders across the nation. She helps lead the Tri-Caucus, a joint effort with the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, as we've seen throughout our conference. We know the importance of having strength in diversity. In Congress, Representative Chieh serves on the powerful House Ways and Means Committee, which has jurisdiction over legislation pertaining to taxes, revenues, Social Security, and Medicare. She also serves on the House Small Business Committee, where every day she fights for the AAPI small business community. We are indeed proud to recognize Congresswoman Chieh at our awards dinner tonight. It is now my distinct honor to present the Distinguished Service Award to Congresswoman Judy Chieh.
Well, thank you so much to National ACE for presenting me with this Distinguished Service Award. I'm incredibly grateful for this important recognition from an organization that I respect so much. Now, I wish I could be there in person, but this morning I tested positive for COVID. I was so disappointed because I wanted to be there with you in person tonight. But this doesn't stop me from praising our partnership in helping the AAPI small business community. With your input, we have worked hard to secure victories in Congress that directly benefit the AAPI community. In one of the COVID relief bills, I secured a provision requiring small business resources to be published in the 10 most common languages, including Asian languages. And we created new programs like the Paycheck Protection Program and Restaurant Revitalization Fund to keep small businesses afloat during the pandemic, while also fighting to ensure that even the smallest and most underserved businesses got the funding that they needed with the $60 billion set aside. And we made a very important agency permanent, giving it the status that it needed. We've combated anti-Asian hate by passing the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act into law. And we've passed Representative Grace Meng's AAPI Museum Study Bill to start the process for creating the first national museum dedicated to Asian Pacific American history. I'm so grateful for our long-standing partnership, and I look forward to many more years to follow. So thank you again to Yu-Ling and the entire National ACE team for this tremendous honor.
Nothing like breaking news. Somebody testing positive for COVID. We hope that she recovers very quickly. I hope it's a mild case that so many of us have been dealing with in the past couple of years here. Our next award is the Executive of the Year, and so we're going to invite Thea Suzuki to do that introduction.
I just have to say that I agree with Susan. This podium is way too high for a petite Asian woman. But woo! What a wonderful scene that I'm seeing tonight. I wish I had the time to meet every single one of you. It's such an honor for me to be part of National ACE, and I'm super excited to follow Karen's footstep as the incoming chairwoman for the board starting in January. And it's so not fair for me to follow Yu-Ling, Susan, and Karen, but it's such an honor for me to also congratulate Emilio, Susi, and also Congresswoman Judy Chieh. What great leadership that we're seeing tonight. So the next award honors an individual who has demonstrated innovation, vision, and passion to start their own brand and impact the economy. The Executive of the Year Award celebrates an exemplary business executive based on leadership, innovation, and company success. Upon being asked to present this award to the Executive of the Year, of course, I decided to stalk him. NBC Nightly News called him America's Dream Boss. Have you heard of him? He is the CEO and co-founder of a company called Boxed, not to be confused with the other company called Box, no ED. Boxed is a warehouse club delivery service that launched in 2013. Huang, like I mentioned, is an innovator, a serial entrepreneur, a philanthropist. And tonight, I hope that he will agree that he is now my friend. I met him in the line for cocktails earlier tonight through my friend Willow, who's sitting there. When I stalked Chieh, his leadership reminded me of my favorite definition of leadership by Simon Sinek. Some of you may know Simon. And that definition is, leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. And when you get to know Chieh, you will learn that he personally pays for the college tuition of his full-time employees' children. Who does that? As a college student, as a scholarship recipient myself as a college student, this means so much to me when I read that. He has also taken a stand against the pink tax by refusing to charge extra for products specifically marketed to women. As a woman, I really appreciate that, Chieh. There are many other awards that he's received in his career, 40 under 40, and many other things that you can read in his biography. But I think what I was really touched by was what I learned in line for cocktails when I met him today. My friend Willow said, this guy made me cry when I heard his story. So Chieh, I hope you will do us the honor and share your story and make all of us cry in this room. Congratulations on your Executive of the Year Award.
Thank you.
You have to take a picture.
Oh, I got. Oh, do I? I'm like, do I do it?
You have to.
First?
Sorry.
I have to earn this. Thank you. Well, thank you for that amazing eulogy. So I feel like I'm at my own funeral, and I'm like Huckleberry Finn here. But with this many Asians in the room, it's always a competition. And I'd hate to say it, but my table, table 22, is the best table. Oh, no. Not because of any of the awardees, but because it was sponsored by Carvana, and John from Carvana promised everyone a car in the morning. So he was, it wasn't really like Oprah. He wasn't like, you get a car, you get a car. He whispered to me, you get a car. And so everyone shop on Carvana tomorrow. Like some of the other speakers tonight, it is my first time in front of a room this large with everyone in person. So my heart is beating a little bit fast, and it's rather nerve-wracking. That's why I was in the line for cocktails. I've had several ones. One of the things I've learned through the years is that everything is a sliding scale in life. And so public speaking is no different. So you either have to be very, very well prepared, or you have to be very drunk. And so I will let you decide which part of that scale I am on tonight. But I want to basically just say a few things about my story and something I've learned most recently, which will hopefully be meaningful to everyone here, and will also build upon what Susi mentioned before, and Susi's theme of that showing up really matters. And so, like a real CEO, we're going to talk about synergies between my theme and your theme, Susi. But essentially, I think I'm up here today because I guess I'm one of the few AAPI founder CEOs to start from a garage and make it all the way to the New York Stock Exchange to ring the opening bell. Thank you very much. So I will tell you a story that no one in the company even knows, and part of it I think some of you guys know, but the first part I've never told anyone outside of my family. So when you go and ring the bell the night before, they usually set up the banner. I know this because I used to live next to the stock exchange, and one day I always thought, man, I would love for to start a company one day and have that be the pinnacle of the American dream, and just have the banner of the company that you started on the wall of the New York Stock Exchange. How cool would that be? And so the night before we were set to ring the opening bell, I knew they were setting it up, and so I invited my whole family as a big surprise over for dinner. And then afterwards, we were going to walk over to the stock exchange after we had dinner at my apartment. So everyone's there. My mom was there, my dad, just my family, my sister, my cousin that doesn't like me. Everyone was there, And so we walk over there. I didn't realize it was like, we rang the bell in end of December, so it was like negative 20 degrees in New York City. And so everyone's complaining, it's cold as hell, where are we going? And my mom, who's been retired for many years, I try to clean out their basement and their garage. She would never let me throw anything out. And there was this old pair of shoes that she would always not let me throw out, and she wore it that night. And I felt really, really touched. Until on the walk over, they disintegrated it just disintegrated. So my mom ended up just hobbling, complaining about the cold. Had small kids with us. It was just an absolute disaster. Not the dream that I thought it would be. And so I was this close to saying, F all y'all, man. This is why, this is not my dream. Just take a picture and let's get out of here. And so that's what we did. So, there's about 10 more stories that night, 9 of which are inappropriate. The last one I'll tell you by the bar if you see me in the cocktail line again. But the next day, we get there, and the company's there. Before you ring the bell, you have this big reception. And it's just an awesome, awesome time. And that is exactly what I dreamed it would be. And I think what I learned that day, to Susi's point before, is that showing up matters. And I learned that, I think, in a very difficult way, and one that I'll try to tell without breaking down and ugly crying, but it'll be very difficult. But I learned it the hard way that night, or that day. I grew up poor, and when you grow up poor, it's not that, standing online, one of the panelists today, one of the panels said, standing online and paying with WIC or with food stamps, not the best experience you've ever had. That's not the worst part of it. I think growing up poor, you're often told you're not good enough. And you're told that oftentimes in more blatant ways, but also in overt ways that you're not good enough to be here. And I find with so many Asian Americans in the room that experience is very similar to our experience as Asian Americans, in the sense that people might not tell you that you're not good enough anymore. People don't really do that anymore. But they tell you in other ways. They tell you, but every time when you walk in a room and no one looks like you. Every time you walk in a room and you're mistaken as, one of the admins or one of the folks who's there doing something else and not the CEO. How could you be the CEO of a public company looking like you? You're told that through more latent ways, I guess, is kind of how you're told these days. And I learned that day because, my parents who've never proud of anything that I do, it's always not good enough. Sorry, I had to play that card because everyone has gone through that. After we rang the bell, we went back to the reception room, and my dad took me aside. And my dad is kind of like your typical Asian dad. Rarely smiles, always angry. And for the first time in my life, he said, "I'm really proud of you." Thank you. And I told him, because we rang the bell, it's pretty awesome. You saw the big banner, right? Even though Mom was hobbling, He's like, "No, that's not it." For once, since they came to the US, my dad, who, doesn't speak the best English, never felt like he was part of a community, never felt like he belonged, never felt like he was good enough, because when he walked into the room, not a lot of folks looked like him in any meeting that he ever went to. Said, for once, I saw other folks that looked like me. I saw folks there celebrating someone that looked like me, and that person was my son. Thank you. And, it was a shock because I thought we were in for a fight, but I'll never forget those words. And I bring it full circle to where we are today. And the reason why I'm so excited and so proud to be here is that for the first time in probably hundreds of years in this country, that's not normal anymore. That for us to walk into a room and not to see anyone that looks like you, that's not normal anymore. And for the folks here sitting through those sessions today, through all walks of life, through all different geographies across the US, you guys are showing up. You guys are showing up for the next generation that walks in a room and sees you there as a small business owner. The next generation that walks in and sees you there on the president's cabinet. The next generation that walks in and sees you there as a leader of their chamber. That is what this entire movement is about. And for that, I think it makes every last kind of difficult day I've had as an entrepreneur over a decade now worth it, just to be able to be here to share my story and to say thank you for showing up. Thanks, everyone. Yeah.
What an inspiring group of awardees tonight. How about one more round of applause for all of them? We would like to invite the COO of National ACE to come up, Daniel Oliver.
Hi, everyone. So good to see you. Yeah. We are so lucky at National ACE to have so many great corporate partners. And it's because of our relationships with our corporate partners that we can do these fantastic grant programs, which are cash grants to small businesses. So before we present our final awards of the evening, we would like to take the time to recognize all of our AAPISTRONG small business grant winners from 2021 to 2022 to come up and join me here on the main stage. Many of our grant winners are here with us this evening, and they are your local restaurant owners. They're involved in retail, apparel, manufacturing, beauty, consulting, consumer products, food and beverage, education, and even Taekwondo. I'm serious. If you're here, come on up. And this is truly a special moment for us here at National ACE, because this is what drives our mission: to help our AA and NHPI business community have a voice and give them access to resources that they need right now. So please come join me on the stage. Come on down, come on down. We have a lot.
Right here. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Good. Can everybody wave? Yes, we will have like a movie production.
Yay!
Why are we waiting?
You have to do a front pic.
Everybody up.
Thanks so much.
Nothing like a great family photo. I mean, that's really great. That's very special. Congratulations. Well, our final award for the evening is coming up. And this is really, really special. And we're talking about the Grubhub Awards. And we have 3 finalists who are here tonight. One of the finalists is going to walk away with a grand prize of $100,000. Now, I'm sure everybody's on the edge of their seats because we don't know who it's going to be, but that's going to be the fun and the surprise element tonight. Now, throughout the last 2 years, Grubhub and National ACE have distributed over $4 million in grants to AAPI-owned restaurants throughout the country. Yes, that is incredible. Now, these grants have helped hundreds of AAPI-owned businesses withstand the devastating effects of the pandemic. We have all gone through that, a struggling economy, and it has helped them keep their doors open. So we are forever grateful to Grubhub for their generous partnership. We look forward to continuing this grant program in the years to come. Now, we'd like to invite Dave Tovar, the Senior Vice President of Communications and Government Relations at Grubhub, to join me on stage. Are you all set? Are you ready? You ready for this exciting?
I'm ready.
Okay, all right. Now, we'd like to invite our 3 finalists to come up. These are the restaurateurs to join us on stage. So let's hear it for Barbe-Queen, Bonifacio, and Facing East. Come on.
Yeah.
This is your magic moment, right? Okay, Jade, let's have you talk. Great.
Thank you, David. On behalf of the Short White Guys Caucus, I too support lower podiums. I want to start by challenging Chieh, I think at table 22. I think table 9's got you. So we're Grubhub, and we just ordered like a ton of pizzas. So they're coming. So after this, right over there. I'm kidding. But the bar, I think, will stay open. And speaking of Chieh, and I'll move on after this, I promise. But I don't know where he ended up in terms of really prepared or really drunk, but I think I figured it out. He was pre-buzzed. He was pre-buzzed. So y'all can use that going forward. Anyway, I will be brief. Let's get to these amazing award winners, but it's an honor to be here. I mean, you all said it. These messages are incredible. And the energy and the passion is palpable in this room, and let's keep that going. As David said, I'm Dave Tovar. I work for Grubhub. I lead communications and government relations. Grubhub was founded 17 years ago with a simple and clear message. Help restaurants grow and thrive. It's that simple. And since our earliest days, we've helped independent restaurants stand out, market their business, and drive more orders from local diners. Last year alone, Grubhub sent almost $10 billion in orders to thousands of restaurants across the country. And we know, thank you. And we know that restaurants play a vital role in their communities, and that's why we're committed to helping them have a positive impact on the people they serve. And that's why we're so pleased to partner with National ACE on the AAPISTRONG Restaurant Grant Program. The program is supported by a grant from the Grubhub Community Fund and provides grants to AAPI-owned restaurants across the country to support things like renovations and infrastructure, purchasing new equipment, employee pay and incentives, technology improvements, marketing and purchasing, and many others. And these grants can help alleviate some of the financial strain, allowing restaurants to grow their business and invest in new technologies. 2022 is our second year partnering on the program. And last year, AAPISTRONG Restaurant Grant Program supported 196 restaurants across the country and gave up to $10,000 each to those restaurants. But we knew we could do more and we could do better. And so this year we set a goal of growing the program and increasing our impact. So as a result, we increased funding by $500,000, and more than 70 restaurants are receiving grants of $25,000 this year, including our finalists who could get $100,000. So we've got these three finalists tonight. You'll learn more about them in a few minutes. The stories you're going to hear about them are incredible and a testament to the impact that these small businessmen and women have on their communities through their food and their hospitality. It's also inspiring to see some of last year's grant recipients in attendance tonight and hear how they use their grants to better serve their customers and their communities. And so in closing, make no mistake about it. There is no Grubhub without the hundreds of thousands of restaurants that choose to be on our platform and receive orders from us every single day. And we cannot thrive unless the restaurant industry is also thriving. And so our commitment to serving restaurants is as strong today as it's ever been, and we look forward to the continued partnership. So thank you. And now I'll turn it back to David, our Master of Ceremonies, and we can go on with the program.
Sounds great. Dave, thank you very much. And as one short person to another, thank you very much. Yeah, this podium is a little too high. Okay. Well, we are going to take a quick look, I believe, at these three finalists and find a little bit more about their businesses, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Let's roll the videotape.
Hi everyone, I'm Alan Jung.
And I'm Queen.
And we are the owners of Barbe-Queen. And we own a full-on Polynesian style restaurant.
Asian infused as well.
Asian infused, yes. And the reception that we got from our community and the tourists that come through, they love our energy. They walk into the restaurant, they hear island music, you know, they see our vibe. We're always upbeat, and this funding will help us at the same time train and teach our workers and show them how we really are as Polynesian, as Asian people, how we always just look out for each other, how we take care of one another.
You know, we ask that you consider us, Barbe-Queen, for this grant, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Hi, my name is Krizzia. My mom and I own Bonifacio Modern Filipino Restaurant. We've been open since 2016, and we are the first full-service Filipino restaurant here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm applying for this grant really for a chance to rebuild. 2019 was the year that we finally got our footing and were able to make a living with this business. And when March 2020 rolled around, we had to learn how to convert this dine-in concept into exclusively takeout and delivery, which we hadn't really done before. Just felt like all of the hard work and all the progress that we'd made disappeared, and we really had to start back from square one. So I'm hoping to use these funds to get back to cooking really great Filipino food, making unique and memorable dining experiences, and creating a safe, healthy, and fair workplace for our staff. Thank you.
This is a photo of my mom, Yu-Ling Wong. She's the chef and owner of Facing East Taiwanese restaurant located in Bellevue, Washington. I took these photos on the last night that we had at our old location before we moved last December. We scrambled to clean everything out. I feel like we're always scrambling as restaurant workers, huh? My mom is a self-taught cook. She's always had an affinity towards food, thanks to my grandmother, but she didn't learn how to really cook until it became a means of survival, to make a living for herself and her family. In 2006, after separating from my father, she opened Facing East, a small restaurant with around 8 tables. Since then, we've introduced so many people in the Seattle area to Taiwanese food and given many others a taste of home. They come back for our guapao, spiced pork stew over rice, beef noodle soup, house-made hot sauce, and classic Taiwanese milk tea. If you visit us on any old day and my mom is in the front, she'll chat you up if she has some time. She'll give you a snack or a drink and ask you for your honest feedback on what you ordered. 16 years later, my mom is still tweaking her recipes, always trying to evolve. She calls herself a late bloomer. Everything about Facing East, the food, the ingredients, the place, every detail is approached with love, care, and intention by an intensely hardworking team. Thanks for watching and considering us for the AAPI Strong Fund. If you're in the area, come by someday and say hello. We'd love to meet you.
Okay, the tension builds. We need an envelope now and find out who is going to be the recipient of $100,000 thanks to Grubhub. And once again, Dave, thank you for Grubhub's tremendous support. We really appreciate it. This is making a big difference in the community. Do we have the envelope, please? Where is Vanna White when we need her?
You have an Asian Vanna White.
Ah, we have an Asian Vanna White. Daniel, you're an Asian... Okay, now, could the $100,000 from Grubhub go to Barbe-Queen, who will use the money to teach their workers how we as Asians always look out for each other? Or will the Grubhub award of $100,000 go to Bonifacio, who will use the money to continue building a safe, healthy, and fair workplace for their staff? Or will the $100,000 go to the intensely hard-working team at Facing East? Now, we need your assistance here. We need to make some noise in this room, so we need to have drum roll. So hit your tabletops. Come on, drum roll. We got to have this announcement. All right. And the winner is all three of them. All three are going home with $100,000 from Grubhub. Is that incredible or what?
Here we go.
How about all the members of the Grubhub team up here as well? Come on up, Grubhub. Don't be bashful. Can you imagine how this is going to change their businesses? It's a real testament to hard work, vision, dedication, perseverance, hard work, all of these things. Congratulations to all three of you.
Oh, how fun was that?
Incredible.
Best day ever.
How are you going to top that? You can't. That's fantastic. National Ace, thank you. Grubhub, thank you. Fantastic. Well, now we're going to turn things back over to Karen, I believe, right?
Best day ever. Congratulations. No, go ahead. Fantastic. Did you like that? That was awesome.
My heart is really beating. Just
I know.
from the excitement of
When I was like, can I see the checks? Can I see the checks? It was so cool. All right. What amazing evening. Congratulations to our winners. Hey, Tier, do you think we can top this evening off any better?
I don't think so, Karen. I don't know how we can top that. I mean, seriously, my EY table over there at 21, we were blown away by all three winning the award, and it was so heartfelt and it was so touching.
Perfect.
I don't see how we can top this.
There's nothing else, just so you know. We have no more $100,000 checks for any of you.
No one else is winning tonight.
So thank you all for being here. You guys are amazing. You look beautiful and sharp and handsome. So thank you all for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause. We are here for you. You are here for us. We love every part of this. So I have been chair for the past 3 years. I'm outgoing chair, immediate past chair. We got the best coming in. We have Tier coming in as incoming chair. So close out the gala. You go.
Love you,
I love you too.
Karen, thank you so much for your amazing leadership. I have to say, you're the funnest, board chair I've ever met. I mean, this lady knows how to party. She knows how to lift people up. She knows how to make us all feel good. You know that quote from Maya Angelou? It doesn't matter what you say or what you do. What matters is how you make people feel. And Karen, that quote, you are the epitome of that. So thank you so much for your amazing leadership. And you're not going far.
No.
You're going to stick around and help me because your shoes are way too big for me to fill.
No, we're here. But I'm tall enough to like do this podium thing. FYI.
I need a little lift. This is not equitable here.
I can't pick you up. Just you do it. All right, on you go.
All right. Well, thank you so much again, Karen, for your leadership. You know, as I reflect on this evening and the entire day today, I wasn't here for the reception last night, but I know that many of you were. I can tell that you all have had a phenomenal time the past day and a half. Would you agree? Yes. And I loved what Karen said earlier today, which is an invitation for each of you, if you're not already part of the National ACE family, please join the National ACE family. And what does that mean? That means, like Susan talked about this morning, use your voice. Use your voice to speak up not only for yourself, but also for our entire community. Also show up and engage. I also love what Emilio shared earlier, which is good things happen when good people come together to care. This is what National ACE means to me, and I hope that you've experienced that during this conference as well. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Thank you for your engagement, and thank you for showing up for each other. And I hope you've had as much fun as our staff have had working so hard to put this together. I just would love to give our staff, the National ACE staff, please stand up. Please stand up. Janet, Daniel, Michelle, Yu-Ling, so many others, Sarah. I'm learning all of your names. Thank you so much. It takes hard work, sweat and tears to put this together. And you know what? We're very agile. As you can tell, sometimes the script isn't ready right away, but you know what? It's been a wonderful evening and everyone's having a great time. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of the time together, and we hope to see you again soon. Stay in touch.